wild card as champion.
He has done it! 여러분의 뜨거운 박수로 결승전 대결의 시작하겠습니다!
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스탠치 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? We're going to go to the final match. Now, look, I think it's fair to say Stats is probably going to win this, but maybe Impact could start to have a comeback here. He did seem to pull it together in the Estrella game. So each game he looked a little bit better than the game before.
Yeah.
And I thought Estrella played very well, so maybe he's got something against Stats here.
Yeah, well, I think Stats is unfazed by Impact, because once you see the maps, you're going to see that Golden Wall is map 2, and Stats chose it. Whereas he could have chosen Eternal Empire, which is a big macro map for Game 2.
Right.
So I look at that and I'm like, okay, Stats saw what Impact is up to and he's like, oh no, hold my mouse, you know?
Hold my mouse. Okay, Everdream for Game 1. Stats is looking like the Stats of the past, the one who was dominant,
Yeah, he's
who
looking
could
real
not
good
be
today.
stopped. Yeah.
Real good.
So let's see, if he can keep this up, because he might be able to win this whole thing. All right, Impact versus Stats. The rematch starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프린스 스탠치 김대영.
All right. So, as the opener here, Impact went for a 14 hatch, which you can't pro block.
Right.
And so the early scout of Stats doesn't really do anything. Wanted to deny the hatchery location and force him to take a third base, but unable to do that. So that could have been, a lot of times Protoss is kind of playing around that, where it's like, well, if I'm doing an adept build, there'd be more drones at the third base and potential for more damage and something like that, right? Maybe it's an Oracle opener and that's what you're looking for. The Queens have a harder time getting over there. But not gonna have that opportunity against Impact, so it's a little something to know.
Now, with Impact, we kind of know him as this player that tends to be aggressive. He likes to get in there and do damage, which seems to be exactly what Stats wants to play against. But you think he could mix up his style enough to maybe punish a very conservative Protoss player?
I think it's hard. I think it's really difficult. How do you win if they deflect all of your aggressive moves? It's a stylistic mismatch. Impact is better than games against Stats would lead you to believe. We saw, right now Stats is 8-2 against him in matches.
Yeah.
Right? And that just makes sense because there's certain styles that are very good against different styles. And the thing is, Stats is a better player as well.
Yeah.
But also he literally has a style that fights well against him. Whereas if you put like a more aggressive Protoss up against him, I think Impact's going to have a better time against that, you know?
Yeah.
Put Impact against Zest, who knows what's going to happen?
No, I think, for example, Impact can possibly take Zest.
It's possible. Like, I mean, Zest is better, but like it's a better matchup for him for sure.
Yeah. I've always found, you know, the hardest people to play against are the ones that are just very good at reacting and stopping everything. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, oh,
you have to outpower someone like that. You have to show better mechanics than someone like that.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult because these players get so good at that. But yeah, it's very much a stylistic thing, and I think that, you know, it kind of speaks to people's strengths and weaknesses, what they find hard to play against. All right, a couple drones killed.
And so far, so good here. I mean, Stat's doing some decent damage. It looks like he's going to get a third.
Oh, just barely.
Unfortunately, that drone disappears before it becomes an extractor.
Yeah.
And so now we've got the Warp Prism coming here. And it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a depth pressure to start things off, as the Zerg is now throwing down the Roche-Roarin.
Yeah. Stats is adding a gas behind this. So I think he'll continue to tech up a little bit, maybe start getting some sentries out for a follow-up push. Layers on the way, as well as the Roche-Roarin.
So we have that Warp Prism moving across the map now. And let's see how many drone kills we get here, because we've had a lot of really nice plays. But first it's going to be some pressure here at the front. This is pretty much your run-of-the-mill adept pressure play here. Now the key is with this for the Zerg is that you need to have enough lings to catch the adepts when they get up the ramp, and in this case he doesn't have that. And so this is where the damage really starts to mount. Basically, he's breached the defenses here, and there's going to be a lot of drone kills. Already 4 killed, but again, I worry that the Zerg is stretched too thin here. There's like, what, 2 roaches there and nothing to defend that?
Oh,
meanwhile,
man.
he's continuing to shade around. I mean, this could actually snowball.
No, this is already snowballing. Look at this, 11 drones already killed, and more are going to go down now. Finishes the shade in the main base.
That's it.
GG, that was
just
a quick
completely face smashed. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was like...
Damn.
I think
he doesn't need you to expand your third first.
Yeah.
Just kill you either way. Stats just
He took his lunch money back there.
Impact bought Stats lunch and he liked it.
And he liked it.
Yeah. That's how owned he was.
I mean, that's, I think, a really bad sign there. That looked like it was a mismatch on ladder. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're going to get out of this rank pretty soon, Stats. Don't worry. You won't be playing against these players for that long.
Yeah.
I promise you, BattleNet will eventually promote you to the next rank, and you won't be playing these kind of guys. Golden Wall. We already saw a pretty strong game from Impact this time around. What does Stats have in store here? He's very good at planning. I'm excited. Let's see if Impact can turn this around. Right now, not looking good. Stats looking very strong.
All right. Golden Wall. Let's see what you have, Stats. Impact took down Estrella, so we already know what he likes to do.
Yeah.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 팀 LP 임팩트 김준혁. 아프리카 프릭스 스태츠 김대영.
What was that little giggle?
Just watching the probe look around.
I wasn't looking at you, but you have a little nose giggle is what I call it.
do have a little nose giggle.
Breathe out of your nose pretty fast.
Yeah. when I find something a little bit humorous.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I think that this is a really cool move from Impact.
Because he's not going for the gold?
Yes, he's changed up his play because, like, Stats, there's no question that Stats was watching Estrella versus Impact. And he saw what Impact wanted to do. He let Gold Maul through, and again, he chose it. There was the macro map, and there was the map that he just beat Estrella on taking the gold base.
Yeah.
And Stats was like, give me that one, right?
Yeah.
So Stats obviously looked at that and said, I know how to crush this.
Yeah.
So Impact's like, I'm not doing it. Too bad.
When you really think about it, neener. I want to point out, like, it's really crazy what you have to go through to get out of a group in GSL.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, the fact that you might have to rematch a player you already played, he might have beaten you, or you might have beaten him.
That happens a lot.
You know, or you know, the fact that all the games are out there. It's not like we, you know, sequester the players that aren't playing so they can't see the games. We have in the green room, we have a TV where they can watch the show, just like people at home are watching. Yeah. Which gives them the opportunity to do some of their own research in time, or if they have coaches here or friends here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. So it's cool to see that, like, a move like this for Stats is not just playing StarCraft 2, he's playing the group. And he's saying, all right, let's get this map here again. I know how to beat that. And Impact, I think it's the right idea. He's going to do something different, but how good is he at this new thing he's going to try?
Yeah. Well, it's probably not that new, right? Like, I mean, Impact plays a lot of games. I'm sure he has a good idea of what he's going to pull off here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what his plan is. Like, do you just play this as a normal map? All right, another Glaives build. I was hoping for more Stats.
I think
more than just Glaives builds.
But you know what it might be, dude? He might just look at this and say, I can just beat him with this.
Yeah.
Why would I show more of my strats? I have other players I'm going to have to play. Obviously, many more of them Zerg. You know, for instance, we saw Dark in that one game where he threw the hatchery down at the entrance, and Stats somehow barely came back and won, and probably the best game of the day here. Like, that's Dark saying, all right, I've got so many different builds. Let's pull this one out. He probably thought he was guaranteed to beat Stats with it, and then just move on. You know? But you could have the reverse happen where you say, actually, let's get all the crazy stuff. Let's keep that hidden. There's harder opponents I have to face off against, coming from Stats' perspective. And he says, maybe I can just, you know,
use the basics to beat this guy.
Yeah, use the basics to beat this guy.
All right, Glaives going to be finishing up as he gets over there. Fourth gate as well. A lot of links being made right now. We're going to be at 7 Adepts. He did force in that one Adept Warp in back at the home base of Stats, so that was kind of a useful thing. A little bit of sloppiness from Stats. Maybe he was back macro during that.
He ate a little bit too much damage, and also this is enough lings that you don't want to just, you know, go for it.
No, certainly.
In the last game, it was like 4 lings were at the ramp, and it's that is the death sentence, you know?
Ooh, a sentry's being warped in. Does he have it in the prism?
I think so.
Or is it back at home?
No, it's not in
it's
there.
back at home. All right, so he's just kind of macroing up at home. A little bit of a continuation with that. Look at this, 44 probes against 37 drones. Doing a good job forcing him into making lots of units. There's quite a few adepts. Well, he's going to finish that for sure.
Yeah, and this one is now on the loose inside the main. Again, same idea. Even this angle, not great for the lings to try to fight against these adepts. The adepts have very good surface area.
Yeah.
And actually, they shade in here. More drones are going to bite the dust. Queens and Roaches here to defend. A few great transfuses go down, but ultimately, that Queen is killed off as well. And here we're going to see the shade back out. Wow.
7 drones so far.
Oh, hold on.
This, oh,
it's
God,
going to get a lot worse.
Yeah.
I guess Stats might just win this with really good adept play.
Yeah, he might. Oh my God, that is just way too many. He has the Dark Shrine coming up behind as well. 19 drones killed. Oh, he makes the Dark Shrine directly under the overlord.
I don't think he cares.
It's still useful. Okay.
You know, element of surprise does help, but he says not this game, Taser.
Hey, I found Alpha Star. All right.
Okay, I actually think we're about to see the end here. This
no,
is
I
just
think this
too
is
much.
over, man. There's nothing left for Impact.
The remainder of all the drones are here, and this is going to be another massacre. GG.
Okay. That was...
Stats, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah, he really outclassed Impact in those games. Stats just smashing through him. It looked like a mismatch, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we got the two people out of the group. Everyone was expecting Dark in first place, Stats in second.
Right.
It was a good day, though, a really fun day. Estrella Dark Game 2 was amazing. Dark Stats Game 2 was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff today, actually. A lot of good games.
It was a good day.
The build that Estrella used Game 2 against Impact, or Game 1, was super cool.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun.
We got an interview now. Stats looking very happy. We'll be throwing it to Gary, and Andy will
프로의
translate.
2위 진출자
Okay, we're going to have an interview with the
김대엽
second
선수
winner of Group
만나보겠습니다.
B.
축하드립니다.
Congratulations, thank you.
네, 먼저 16강 진출 소감부터 들어볼게요.
How do you feel right now, Stats?
일단
First of all,
저번 시즌 때 좀 16강에서 좀 아쉽게
last
떨어져가지고
season I've shown some disappointing performance in the round of 16,
열심히
so in this season too,
했거든요.
I've tried harder,
다시 쓰고 싶고
and I want to be in the finals
모습도,
again,
다시 팬분들께 보여드리고 싶고
and I want to
열심히
repay to my
준비했는데
fans.
사실 좀 1등 진출을 노리고 있었어요.
Honestly, I came here expecting to move on as the first place, but Dark was just so strong, so it was a little disappointing, but I'm glad that I moved on.
네, 박용 선수 이야기를 하셔서
So
그
talking about Dark,
승자전부터 이야기를
let's talk about the
해보겠습니다.
winners match first.
오늘 2세트에서 전진 부하장
In the
러시를
second
맞고
game, you fended off
역동에
the proxy
성공했던
hatchery
극한이
and
잊혀지지가
managed to win the game, and that game was
박용 선수
unforgettable.
인터뷰에서
So
내가
in Dark's
10판을
interview,
하면 한
He said that strategy gets blocked once in 10 times, and you were able to achieve that, Stats.
김대엽 선수는 10판 당하시면 10판 다 막으시나요?
So Stats, are you confident to block that one 10 times,
저도
up 10 times?
이런 전략적인 거는 처음 당해가지고
Well, that was my first time
솔직히 좀 해처리를 왜 막나
approaching
했어요.
the strategy.
아,
So I,
그래가지고,
at
아니,
first,
이렇게
I didn't know
막아주면
why he was building a hatchery over
나한테
there.
되게 고마운 상황.
So I thought it would be a
이렇게 생각을
situation
하면서
where I'm on the high
경기를
ground,
했었는데 갑자기 게이트웨이가 깨지더라고요.
but then my
그래서
gateway exploded,
좀 머릿속이 좀 하얘졌었는데
and then my brain just went white.
좀 어떻게 해서든지 좀 이기려고 좀 많이
And then from then I just tried to
열심히 노력을 했는데
win as much as possible.
이겼던 것 같고 만약에 똑같은 상황이 10번은 좀 10번에서
And
10번
if
다
the
이기는
same
건 좀
situation
힘들고
occurred 10
10번에서
times,
절반은 이기도
I probably can win
그런
50%
상황은
of the
처음
situation.
있었다니 그 와중에도 좋은 판단과 좋은
In the
센스를
meantime, you've shown
보여주셨다는 게
great
정말
performance
대단하신 것
and
같습니다.
great sense of
자,
the
오늘
game.
김준혁 선수를 2번 잡고
You defeated Impact twice,
올라가셨거든요.
and now you move on to
오늘
second place.
보니까 김대엽 선수도 그러셨고요.
So watching
최근에
today,
프로토스 선수들이 저그전에서 공명사도를 많이
a lot of
활용을
the Protoss
하시는
players are actually
모습이거든요.
going for the depth
어떤
in the
점에서
PvZ
이렇게
matchup.
공명사도를 다시금 많이 선택하시는지
So why are so many
궁금하네요.
Protoss players going for the
일단
depth?
저그가 좀 대처를 완벽하게 하지 못하면은
Well, if
공명사도
Zergs
빌드가
can't fend
굉장히
off the
강력한 빌드예요.
adapt build,
이렇게
you know,
찌르면서
adapt build can be really scary.
수 있는 그런 빌드여가지고 제가 많이 사용을 했고요.
So I use that a lot.
그리고 또 우주 관문을 했을 때 좀 아무래도 경기 이기는 게 많이 힘들기 때문에
And you know, it's really hard to win by going for Stargate.
황혼의 로보 공명사도 빌드를 많이
So I do
선택하는
use
이유가
a lot of the Roblex facility
자,
and
이거는
adapt build.
저희 메인 작가님 통신인데요. 오늘 방송을 보시던 어유수 선수가 또 이제 최근에 패치가 있잖아요.
So Sue, who's been
그것과
watching your
연관해서 한
stream
말씀을
today,
하셨다고 합니다.
he
이번
commented
배터리 패치는 김대엽 선수가 최대 수혜자다.
this battery patch, the shield battery
그러자
patch,
반응이
Stats is the main
그렇다.
beneficiary of this
김대엽
patch,
전용 패치다.
and that's what Sue said.
김대엽을 위한 패치다.
It's a patch
이런 반응이 나왔다고
specifically
하는데요.
for Stats.
아 그럴까요? 이제 다시 김대엽 선수의 시대가 온
And I feel
걸까요?
like Stats' age is coming back. What do you
사실
think?
좀 배터리 이렇게 패치돼가지고
Well, the battery
소비하는데
just got
여러모로
patched, and
도움이 크게
it's
된
very
점은
useful
사실이에요. 근데
when defending.
사실 좀 테란전이나 프로토스전에 좀 영향이 되게 큰 것 같지.
But I think
저그전 같은 경우는
it's really
좀
it's really effective in the PvT and the PvP, but it's not as much in PvZ.
네, 좀 수비적인 좀 프로토스를 위한 패치인
But yeah, I do agree that it's quite useful in defense.
프로토스와 테란전엔 도움이 된다. 지난 시즌은 테란 때문에 사실 슬펐거든요.
Last season, you were bogged down by
전태환
Terran.
선수와 김도욱 선수.
You lost to TY and Cure, the finalists of last season.
그렇다면 현재 테란전도 좀 변화가 있으신가요?
So do you think there's a change in the PVT matchup right now?
그 보호막 배터리 그 충전소 때문에 그 테란이 좀 빌드 가짓수가 굉장히 좀 많았었는데
Well, due to the shield battery, initially the Terrans had a lot of builds at their disposal, but it definitely did decrease due to the shield battery.
그렇지만 좀 아직도 프로토스가
But nevertheless,
빌드는 좀 정해져 있다고
there are only a few builds the Protoss can go for.
운영 싸움인 것 같아요.
So I think in the end, it's just a macro
앞서서
fight.
이번 시즌은 잘 해보고 싶다 말씀을 하셨었는데요. 마지막으로
So
한마디
stats.
들어보겠습니다.
Anything you want to say before you go?
일단 좀 오랜만에 GSL에 와서 경기하고
Well, it's a GSL match in a long time,
너무 기쁘고
and I'm happy to have shown a good
좀
performance today.
승자전에서 좀 어떻게 보면은 영호하고의 경기도 제가
In the winners
잡을 수
match,
있었던
You know,
경기였는데
I probably could have
개인적으로 좀
defeated Dark, but I
실수들
did make
좀
some
많이 해가지고
trivial
진 것 같아요.
mistakes.
그래서 그런 부분들 잘
So I'm going to have to fix on that.
다음 16강 경기 때는 좋은 모습
And in the
보여드리도록
next round of 16 match, I'll try to show a better performance.
축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations, Stats. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 김대엽
Thank you,
선수
Andy. Good job
만나봤는데요.
translating.
오늘 경기 최종 정리까지 확인해 보겠습니다.
We have another survivor here. Sats, I look forward to seeing him go on into the round of 16. Let's not forget he was taken out pretty early in season 1, so we didn't get to see that much of him.
Yeah. You know, hopefully he gets really deep this season. I think it's more exciting when Stats is one of the best Protoss in the world. Because you get that kind of macro perspective.
I love crazy games, right? And I love one of the things about Protoss I really like is how cool and aggressive you can be, but it's also really good to have someone who's so solid in here as well and does late game. Guys, we're going to be back on Saturday at 1 p.m. KST. You don't want to miss this. Solar Super, Tasia, and Rogue.
Yeah, a couple blasts from the past there and two very modern top Zergs. I think it's definitely Solar and Rogue favored, but Tasia put up a pretty darn good fight against Dark last season.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed we'll see him do something.
Yeah, Tasia looked really good.
Yeah, as far as Super goes, I've heard that his PvP is really strong and sharp right now. I haven't heard too much about his other matchups, and I haven't really seen any of his games, so I'm not sure what to expect, but in a group like this, I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's one of our players that probably squeaked into the round of 24.
Maybe.
He's like, the extra guy in the Star Trek,
in this
show
group, with
yeah.
7K Zerg Solar and just champion of every tournament on Earth Rogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
I imagine we're going to have 2 Zergs advancing, but maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I'd love to see Tasia make some upsets. I think that would be just amazingly awesome.
That would be so special if that happens in our tournament, if he gets to the round of 16. Again, some of these guys are coming back from their military service, and, there's nothing now to stop them from just continuing to pro game.
They love
as
to
they
pro
say.
game.
No, but seriously, it's very cool to have him back. And what's nice as well is that he actually looks like a good modern player. Sometimes we have old players come back and they look good, but they look exactly like how they were good in that version of StarCraft that they dominated in.
Yeah, and a lot of those players quit already, but we have some of them really rising up. DRG's looking great. Tasia's looking great. I thought Bomber was looking pretty good as well, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about these players being back. Obviously, Parting, he hasn't done military service yet, but he had a long retirement. Top 4, man.
I know.
These players, they can leave for quite a while and come back strong.
Yeah. So today was great. It's too bad Estrella didn't move on. He looked really good, though.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him against Stats if he could have held that last game. That was I think he's going to be beating himself up over that Golden Wall game.
Considering how interesting the PVZs were, I would love to see what he had planned for PvP. Because he came in here with so many different approaches to the matchup and really executed it well. Even the first game we saw of him, where he had the Sentry and the Warp Prism.
Yeah,
that was cool. It was cool. That's all the time we have, guys. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Take care. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.